Yeah. Oh, that's the ticket. Nothing feels better than that first ass impact on the couch of the day. It is so satisfying, especially after a long weekend, whatever the case may be, when you've had a lot to do, a lot on your mind. Ass hitting the couch is all the mental health treatment you need. Maybe not. Maybe not. You might need more. This is not professional advice or something, although maybe that's why so many psychiatrists have couches, right? Because, you know, what's more comforting than a couch? Hello, everybody. Off on a little bit of a tangent there. Jim here. How you doing? Today, oh boy, I got some new games. What a glorious day. I got some new Switch games, as a matter of fact. I have been absolutely loving some of the releases I've been picking up for my Switch. I think I mentioned before, I'm not really collecting games so much at this point. Not collecting retro games anyway, but that being said, I have been picking up quite a few releases for the Switch and enjoying them immensely. And even reviewing quite a few of them. Some of these games you're going to see today, I'll have full reviews for coming up. So I'm not going to say too much about them, but we will get the gist, and they will get my recommendations. Actually, everything today will get my recommendation because it's all good, because I only pick up great games. My taste is impeccable. So what do you have to say about that? You say, yes, Jim. Well, I've been following this channel for nigh on a decade now, and you've never steered me wrong. Okay, so here we go. Half a dozen Switch games that picked up recently. Been having a lot of fun with all this stuff. Right off the top, though, something really came out of left field for me. I think this was released like a couple of years ago, and I was just kind of like perusing games on Amazon, just looking at, you know, people who looked at this, also looked at this, etc., etc. And I came across this game. It is Call of Cthulhu. And this, again, a game I had not heard of. I had thought that, like, it must have been like the Xbox game, but re-released for the Switch or something, because I remember there being a Call of Cthulhu Xbox game. But no, this is something new. This is something that was released, I think, in 2019, actually. I guess people would say it's like a AA game or something. It's not a AAA game. It's something that was, when you're playing it, you can tell it was made on a bit more of a budget. It's a beautiful looking game. Like, the art direction is great. All the environments, everything looks really great. The character animations, though, are a little bit last gen, or maybe, you know, something like that. Like, maybe closer to something you would have seen on the 360 or something to that effect. Although the Switch, not, you know, the most powerful machine in the world, but still a great looking game. It's heavy on the atmosphere. It's Call of Cthulhu. So it's, you know, it's a horror game. It's an investigative game for the most part. You're going to spend a lot of time looking for clues, talking to people, kind of interrogating them, following lines of questioning, and maybe sometimes every now and then solving some puzzles. And very rarely there's some combat in this game. And that's probably the low point of the game, is the combat. It feels kind of shoehorned in there. This game works best as, again, like an investigative kind of game, gathering clues, interrogating people, and then going through some scary environments. It's best when you're trying to avoid all of the horrors and all the scary stuff. Yeah, visually, I would say all the environments, everything looks great. It's just the character models and animations are a little bit wonky. Everything else looks beautiful, though. It's effectively creepy. There's some pretty, I mean, there's some jump scare moments here and there. It's HP Lovecraft stuff, so you get the interdimensional shambler was kind of scary. And it's Call of Cthulhu, so you get to encounter the cult of Cthulhu and all the stuff that comes with. Weird experimentations going on this little island off the coast of Massachusetts. So the story is very good, very intriguing. It changes a lot depending on the lines of questioning you follow. Your character has a whole bunch of different attributes that you can improve over time. so you can focus on his investigative skills and his sort of like knowledge of psychology, and that kind of like opens up new like chat windows and stuff for you, like different options for when you're talking to people. Or you can increase, you know, his physical strength. You can find things lying around that increase his medical knowledge and his knowledge of kind of the occult and things like that, which again you're going to need because you are investigating occult. So it's a damn fine game. I'll say that. Again, the combat executed pretty, you know, poorly. It's feels kind of shoehorned in, like they felt like there needs to be some combat somewhere. You got to shoot somebody. But honestly, my favorite parts of this game are just going around creepy places, kind of like sneaking around, trying to find clues, and running away from like crazy cult members and stuff like that. That's fun enough for me. But it's heavy on the atmosphere. It's creepy, kind of scary, and I actually have had a lot of fun with this game. Enjoyed it, played it start to finish. Not sure if I'm going to do a full review on it yet, just because it's, you know, I do a lot of shoot 'em ups, fighting games, action games, that kind of thing. I've never really gotten my hands into horror yet, which is odd because I'm a big horror fan, but it's just not something I've really tried to tackle yet. But this is a fun game, and I can recommend it. If you're a horror fan and you haven't tried it yet, you got to switch. This is one you should look out for. Call of Cthulhu. Good stuff. Again, the action, it's not an action game at all. They really had no need to put in the action sequences, if you ask me. It's an investigative game slash puzzle solving slash, like, there's a little bit of stealth stuff here and there. It's best when you're scared and you're running away from stuff, not necessarily, you know, putting up a fight. All right, the rest of these games are kind of like my bread and butter kind of games. Again, I'm not going to go too into detail on these because I think actually I'm doing full reviews of all of these games at some point in the future. So not too much detail, but we are going to talk about some of these. First up, Fantastic Night Dreams Cotton Reboot. Cotton Reboot. So this is, as the name implies, a reboot of the original Cotton game, I believe produced by Beep, the game shop in Akihabara. They have a lot of retro PC stuff in there, which is why this game includes not only the rebooted arranged mode, it also features the original X68000 version of Cotton, which X68000 was a Japan exclusive PC, which was pretty popular as a gaming PC. Some really cool stuff released on it. So the X68000 version, it's cool that they included it here because I had only ever played the PC Engine CD version, so it's nice to see those differences. But the real draw here is the arranged mode, the new Cotton reboot. It's, you know, take the original like story and stages and bosses and what have you from the original Cotton, give everything a graphical upgrade. The gameplay I feel is like a lot faster. It's more like elaborate. You can rack up these like, you know, giant point scores because you can go into like fever mode, and then you're just racking up point bonuses all over the place. It plays faster, I think. I mean, you can adjust the difficulty settings to your liking and stuff, but it's not an ultra challenging game. It's just incredibly fun. Lots of enemies on screen at any one time, big boss battles, beautiful graphics, really, really excellent soundtrack, even some bonus modes. There's like a time attack mode, and you can unlock some additional playable characters. Yeah, again, I'm doing a full review on this, so I don't want to like get too into detail here and now. Go and watch the review. Actually, if I've already published it, by the time I publish this video, I'll have a link in the description so you can go see the full review. But bottom line, this game is awesome. The arrange mode is great. The original X68000 mode is great. Its gameplay is super fun. Graphics are great. Sound is great. This is excellent. If you're a Switch owner and you're a shoot 'em up fan, in my opinion, this is a must-have game. Cotton reboot. Really good stuff. Yeah, definitely go and pick that up if you're a shooter fan, especially if you like Cotton. And speaking of, after I picked up Cotton Reboot, it sort of got me back into the series. I was like, wow, this reboot is awesome. What's next in line? I didn't pick up any of the re-releases of like Cotton 2 or Cotton Boomerang or anything. I heard those weren't so good, but the newest Cotton game I did pick up, and that is Cotton Rock and Roll, aka Cotton Fantasy. So this did get like a North American release, so cool, pick it up if you can. Brand new cotton game, which is great. What's like a big draw of this game is that there are a ton of playable characters. I think in total there are like 8. I want to say there are like 8 different playable characters in this game, and it's not just like an aesthetic difference. They all play very differently from one another. They all have their own unique gimmicks. You've got Cotton, you've got Appley, you've got Umihara Kawase riding a giant fish. You've got a girl from the Sivarier series, and her play style is similar to Sivarier, where she can skim bullets, and that's really cool. And you have like a handful of other playable characters as well. But on the whole, just a really great shooter, regardless of what characters you're playing as. But that's just like icing on the cake. Really solid shooter, challenging, fun, nice graphics, again, great soundtrack, and you just have all those characters to play as. You have some bonus modes to play into, so there's a lot of content here. Very, very fun, very well-made game. I was very happy with this. I don't know if I prefer this or Cotton Reboot. Like, the gameplay in Cotton Reboot is so incredibly solid. I think the core gameplay, I prefer Cotton Reboot, but Rock and Roll just has so much going for it again. So many characters to play as, bonuses, things like that. So, I don't know, up in the air. I would say just get both. Get Reboot, get Cotton Rock and Roll, and have a lot of fun. Again, if you're a shoot 'em up fan, there's so much on the Switch to enjoy right now. So if it says Cotton, again, I heard that the re-releases of the like Saturn Cotton games, I heard those were ported poorly. I haven't played those yet, but I heard they're not very good, so maybe look at some reviews of that, maybe pass on those. I don't know. Again, I can't not talk from experience. But Cotton Reboot, Cotton Rock and Roll, aka Cotton Fantasy, both amazing games. Pick those up if you're a shooter fan and you've got a Switch. You've got to scratch the Switch itch with some shoot 'em ups, then go for it. Cotton Rock and Roll, really good stuff. Having so much fun with it. And we've got 3 more games to talk about. I'm gonna take a little break, sip some coffee, and check this out, whatever the hell I put here, and we'll be right back.
Out of the darkness, the bright spirit of the Ryuken reborn. Ninja Ryukenden from Tecmo. Just when you had given up all hope, a ninja saves you from the evil Jackie O. More realistic than any other TV game, you're right in the action, fighting to the death. On sale from Tecmo. Ninja Ryukenden. Incredible game software for Famicom.
All right. Back at it. 3 more Switch games, another shoot 'em up, and 2 beat 'em ups. Which again, shoot 'em up fan, the Switch has got you covered. Beat 'em up fan, the Switch has still got you covered. But first, let's take a look at this. One of the best shoot 'em ups available on the Switch right now. I think I already said that for like Cotton Reboot, but it's true. This game is amazing. I had played it, the original version in arcades, and loved it. And I didn't know that there was an updated version until I picked up this game. This is Rolling Gunner plus Overpower. And good lord, this game is amazing. Again, I'm gonna have a full review of this coming up sometime soon, so I won't give away everything here, but I will just say this features the original Rolling Gunner, which is, it's fantastic on its own. It's a bullet hell shooter, and you've got your ship, and you've also got the rolling gun, which sort of follows the movements of your ship. So it can either be in free movement, or you can lock it in place, but essentially, it allows you to fire in all 360 degrees. So side-scrolling, bullet hell shooter, but you can shoot in 360 degrees of motion. You have super bombs, and there's also an auto bomb, but if the auto bomb goes off, it uses up all of your bombs. So it's not quite the it's not quite what it first appears. You would think an auto bomb, then I got 3 bombs, I got 3 hits. Nope, you get that 1 auto bomb, and then you're kind of on your own. So that's cool, but generally speaking, the original Rolling Gunner is a great game. If they would have just released Rolling Gunner on the Switch, I would have just bought that. But this is Rolling Gunner plus Overpower. So you also get included Rolling Gunner Overpower, which is Same, you know, graphics, stages, enemies, everything else, but the gameplay has been changed quite significantly. So Rolling Gunner Overpower is basically a twin stick shooter. So you use the left stick to control your movement, and the right stick controls your rolling gun. And so you can rotate the stick, and whatever direction you point the stick in, you're firing in that direction. So that's cool. You also, now your rolling gun also acts as a shield, so you can use it to block incoming bullets, which is very useful. And you can fire off a power shot, which also clears away any bullets that it comes into contact with. So I would say that Rolling Gunner Overpower is definitely an easier game to play through than the original Rolling Gunner. And in fact, Rolling Gunner Overpower, I've been able to 1cc it just on the normal difficulty without too much trouble, because you also have a health bar. You don't take one hit and then lose a ship or auto bomb or anything like that. In fact, you don't have super bombs in Overpower, but you do have a power meter that allows you to enter like a super powered up boost mode and go crazy, and you can still clear bullets from the screen and all that kind of stuff. So Overpower, I felt like, was an easier playthrough, but it was also a lot more fun. I felt like the twin stick thing really complemented the original gameplay of Rolling Gunner very well. Yeah, great gameplay, like incredibly fun gameplay, pretty nice graphics for what is not like a huge budget game. Most shoot 'em ups are not like big budget titles or something, so the graphics, they are what they are, but I would say here the graphics are very nice, and the soundtrack is awesome. Again, high energy, kind of like techno electronic soundtrack, the kind of stuff you want with a good shoot 'em up, something to really get you into the action. So again, full review coming up whenever the hell it gets done with editing, but I can say this is a fantastic shooter. Again, if you've got a Switch, if you're a shooter fan, I would say before anything else, pick this game up, because it is so much fun and it's a lot of value for your money. Again, you get the original Rolling Gunner, you get Rolling Gunner Overpower. Both of them are amazing. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this one if you are a shooter fan. It is Rolling Gunner plus Overpower, and it's awesome. Love it. Okay, 2 beat 'em ups here. Both of them are just like fantastic. One of them is now, I think, in my opinion, the best beat 'em up ever made. The other one is not too far behind. I think there's like a hierarchy of these beat 'em ups that have been being released recently, but they've been so good. Obviously, Streets of Rage 4 is amazing. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. This is a game that follows in that tradition. Just so good. Final Vendetta. I have played the hell out of Final Vendetta. Again, full review coming soon, so I'll share not everything, but I'll articulate what I really like about this game. First, the gameplay is incredibly solid. They take pretty standard formula for a beat 'em up. Just walk to the right and beat up everyone that comes on screen. You have an attack button, you have a jump button, and then you can press them together to do your super attack that sacrifices some health. But you also have a power meter at the bottom of the screen, a special meter, and when it's full, you can execute that super move without sacrificing any health. So that's pretty cool. But on top of that, you also have a special button that you can press in combination with other buttons to do other super special techniques that don't take away any health. So that's cool. You can hit downed opponents, which I love. Every beat 'em up could have benefited from that. So when you knock an opponent down, you can stomp the hell out of them. And it's kind of your tropes here. You've got your female character who's like really fast and has cool techniques. You got your strong pro wrestler guy, who I love a lot, because you can do a flying elbow drop, which knocks opponents down. And then when they're down, you can continue to do the elbow drop. You can just elbow drop people to death, which I love. And then you have your kind of like balanced fighter guy who has like, some cool combos and things like that. So there are a lot of options in the gameplay. There's lots of techniques you can pull off. You have special techniques you can do. You can do like back attacks. You can hit downed opponents. You have multiple attacks you can do in the air, multiple kinds of throws you can do. They really did a lot with the gameplay here. It's very fun and it's super smooth, like not stiff or anything at all, very smooth. It's like they were making beat 'em ups their whole, you know, for like, they have a lot of experience with beat 'em ups, I guess is what I'm trying to say, even though I think this is the first one that, okay, I'm looking at the beats or whatever. Soft Source, are they the publisher? Numbskull, and Bitmap Bureau. There we go, Bitmap Bureau. You'd think they were making beat 'em ups forever with how just great this game plays. Super smooth, just excellent. 2-player action, great graphics. I really like the visuals in this game. They did a great job with that, and the soundtrack is awesome. On the back it says, featuring beats from Utah Saints and Feature Cast. Whatever the case may be, really great music, kind of like hip hop and like 90s electronic techno inspired. Really great stuff. I mean, some of this you would swear like this had to have been composed in like the 90s or something, but no. Brand new stuff, and it's great. It sounds great, it looks great, it plays great. Yeah, Bitmap Bureau just really killed it with this one. Obviously takes a lot of inspiration from previous beat 'em ups. I think the most obvious is Streets of Rage, but there's also hints of Final Fight, and even a little bit of Burning Fight. I felt like I got a little bit of that out of this too, but it's an amazing game. Again, I'm gonna have a full review coming up fairly soon, so look out for that. But this is one, again, if you're a beat 'em up fan, the Switch has got you covered. Ladies and gents and others, Final Vendetta. If you like beat 'em ups, you gotta play this one. It's great. It's just really, really good. Again, so I said there's that hierarchy of like beat 'em ups, like modern beat 'em ups right now. This is in there. Streets of Rage 4 is in there, obviously. I think this is maybe the best beat 'em up like ever made. It's so incredibly fun. You already know. It is TMNT Shredder's Revenge. And wow, what can I say about this game? So fun, just so incredibly fun. Gameplay is so satisfying and smooth, beating up all those foot soldiers and robots and other various things. The sheer amount of boss battles in here, all the characters they pulled up, not just your, you're gonna have Shredder and Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady, but you got all these other great classic Turtles characters, Dirtbag and Rat King and Ground Chuck and Chrome Dome and Metalhead and Leatherhead and Baxter Stockman, and just goes on and on and on. So tons of boss battles, tons of stages, really, lots and lots of stages in here. You got your story mode, and the story mode is super fun because you get your little overworld map, and you can rescue characters, and you can find little hidden secrets, and the more points you rack up, the more you level up your characters, so they have more health, more super attack gauge, they have access to more variety of super attacks. That's all great. The visuals are awesome. The soundtrack is amazing. Every stage track is great, and then some of the music in here, I was surprised to see some of the musicians involved with this game. The Turtles theme is sung by Mike Patton, who is best known for being the singer for Faith No More. I did not know that going into this game, that they were having like special guest musicians like Mike Patton and Raekwon and Ghostface Killah. That, like, I just thought that was awesome. So like while I'm playing the game and I'm hearing this music and I'm recognizing these vocalists, I'm like, wow, this is so cool. But the music in general is just fantastic. The visuals are great, very like kind of retro stylized, but modern, and it's a modern retro looking game. So that's great. You get all your turtles, you get April, you get Splinter, you can unlock Casey Jones, that's great. And then, good lord, is the multiplayer awesome. 6 players at a time, are you kidding me? And it's so incredibly fun. You're just beating the hell out of everything in sight, and you can do like little pep up moves and stuff, and you can, if someone's down, you can give them some pizza to give them some health back, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah. It's a fun game to play alone. Like, I played through the story mode, single player. I played through the arcade mode, single player, which is cool because there's an arcade mode, so you can just go one stage to the next without all the story stuff. So yeah, single player is still really fun, but wow, if you can get like 2, 3, 4, 5 people together, or just go play online. Wow, it's so fun. I haven't done any kind of like local multiplayer with this yet. I don't even know how that's gonna look, cramming 6 people in here to play some Ninja Turtles. But yeah, just great. I can't say enough about graphics, amazing. Sound design, amazing. Gameplay, amazing. The variety, the amount of stuff, the stages, everything, the boss battles, lots of stuff. Great stuff. I mean, just, I can't speak highly enough of this game. You've probably already seen reviews of it and everything else. You've probably already played it, and you know how great it is. I will have a full review up at some point, either this month or next month. But just know that this game, I love it, and it just might be the best beat 'em up ever made, and that's saying a lot. TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. So I said that hierarchy of beat 'em ups for me on the Switch right now. TMNT is at the top of the heap. Under TMNT, I would say, is Streets of Rage 4, followed closely by Final Vendetta. If you're a beat 'em up fan, if you're a shoot 'em up fan, oh boy, the Switch has got you covered. That's mostly what I've been playing recently. Shoot 'em ups and beat 'em ups on my Switch, and I've been having a lot of fun with the occasional gem like Call of Cthulhu thrown in there, or playing some RPGs, Dragon Quest VIII, or playing some of that new Mario Kart, those new tracks. Love that. I've been playing a ton of Switch games. Anyway, that is going to do it for this edition of More Games. Everybody, down in the comments, Switch, are you playing some Switch right now? What Switch games are you playing? Have you played any of these games? What do you think of them? And maybe what's on your wish list coming up? We're coming up into the holiday season, so what are some games that you would like to have under your Christmas tree, or whatever tree it might be? Just find it under a random tree. Maybe go outside. Maybe I'll do that this year. Instead of getting a Christmas tree, I'll just designate a tree sort of in my neighborhood, and I'll just put presents under that. Yeah, Switch or otherwise, what are some games on your wish list? I'd like to know. And until next time, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.